Walking Dead?
Yes, we are back for Fear the Walking Dead. It's a whole new playlist, but we will still reference The Walking Dead.
Jeez.
Which we're going to have to digress here because we are going to start. We're going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead.
How can we not?
But
I could easily not talk about it.
Matt, not so fond of it. JP and myself. I was bored last night, but I'm hopeful.
This is going to be a fun, a series of events. You guys bringing me over to Fear the Walking Dead.
I'm going to sell you on it, pal.
Not really
like
feeling it, man. I've been there with The Walking Dead.
You haven't, though. Like when we started with The Walking
West Coast, whatever.
But I'm
they
just
have a boat.
Society had already fallen by the time we went in The Walking Dead. Like
so now you get
jet
CB
planes
fall.
and
Keep in mind, Walking Dead Season 2 is considered extremely boring because it all took place on the same farm. It's gonna get
and there's things like the woman had finally the epiphany that shooting them in the head is what kills them. You know, I mean things like that. But we've already just I don't know.
And there's floating zombies, floaters. They're gonna start calling them floaters.
Right.
Oh boy, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, when someone told me there was floaters in this show, that's not at all what I thought they were talking about.
So we're gonna definitely hit on the we're definitely gonna hit on Fear the Walking Dead. But first, we're gonna flash back because we haven't talked to you guys since the Walking Dead.
Do you have an angry
finale.
Sound effect that you can do about the Walking Dead?
I can, but I have to wait for this bed.
Oh, there we go.
He is hulking up.
There too.
So mad.
So we each have our own person we think is dead.
We're pretty
based
split on this.
I said dead based on who we think.
I tell you, they dead.
They dead. They killed him dead.
And we had some good comments.
We had some good comments,
so much
and
love.
we want to pump up our next season of The Walking Dead, season 7's premiere. We want to pump that up because we're going to do something really cool. So lots to cover before we jump into Fear the Walking Dead.
Yes.
If you want to just hear Fear the Walking Dead, then you can skip ahead probably about 5 or 6 minutes. But for our regulars, like this is a bar, and for those folks that are our regulars,
Norm,
we're gonna
cheers.
We're going to address a few things. Number one, the season 7 premiere is going to be awesome. We've had a few people ask if we would do any kind of live streaming. We're doing it which is a long ways away, but in October we're going to live stream the hour leading up to the episode.
So cool.
I know, it's awesome.
You can chat with us.
Interactive chat.
Are you getting tingly? I'm getting tingly.
We're really taking a page out of Eric the Midget's book. He did the same thing.
Oh, that's right, Eric the Midget.
He did the same thing for American Idol. He pretty much invented the format. Like there wouldn't be a Talking Dead without an Eric the Midget.
Okay,
if you say so.
I'm saying it right now, pal.
But we're gonna do a live stream leading up to the podcast, and then we're gonna podcast after, but not live because a lot of you watch the Talking Dead, so we don't want to interfere with that.
I don't know why.
So we'll podcast
we're nipping
right
at your
after
heels,
that.
Hardwick. Nipping at your heels.
Right.
And we'll record the podcast, and we're actually going to get you guys to enter because we want to take 2 or 3 of you and actually have you call in and podcast with us. We're going to do it separately. We'll have you call in for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the next caller. So we want 2 or 3 of you to actually talk to us. And we'll have a contest, so lots of fun stuff coming up with that.
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of contest, congratulations to Nilda.
Yes, congratulations on
Your
scoring
bet will be coming soon.
Yeah, it will be in the mail.
Everybody calm down, everybody.
I know.
All right.
Studio packed full of excited people.
It's really hot in here.
No.
It is. It's very hot.
A lot of people.
But so we've got that. We'll have a contest, so the premiere is going to be excellent. Also, let's go back. And I'll let you guys go first. Each person has like a minute or two. Just your theories. Let's start with Matt. I'll go last. Matt, who do you think Negan killed after you've had a week to kind of just mull it over and think about it and read the thousands of...
I think it's Glenn.
Now, is that who you said last week, or are you switching
I believe
positions?
it is. No, I'm still sticking with it.
You're
sticking?
I believe I didn't say... Yeah, I believe I said Abraham and Daryl. That's who I said.
I know. I was on Glenn last week.
I'm pretty sure it's Glenn. A couple of things... the slow motion sound,
that's fake.
Yeah, I was going to say the thing about it is
fake.
The thing about it is they haven't filmed the death of that person yet. They haven't filmed it.
Yeah, if you're still using that sound clip as evidence for Glenn's death, don't, because number one, where people thought he was saying Mac, trying to say Maggie, that's actually where Negan says, "Look at that." Mag, what people thought was him stuttering, trying to say Maggie. Is that it's Negan saying, "Look at that"?
So everybody was saying, so like
the Maggie scream in the background was added. That was
so
from
that what we played last week was false.
That was false.
The Maggie screaming. I think people are putting more into it than
the Maggie screaming. That came from the episode where Glenn was against the wall.
I feel so misled.
It's okay.
Eating.
And I brought it
bring
in
up
here.
The justice. Don't worry.
Jeez.
Oh, it's okay. The internet brought it to us, so we'll hunt down the internet and we'll take it down.
So you can't use that because like I said, I think the only person that's given said they know who's dead, is Norman Reedus, and that will get into mine afterwards.
I think everybody knows.
What else is your
Glenn or Norman? Or sorry. Wow, Stephen Yeun is getting ready to start. He's getting ready to start filming a movie next month.
Really? Now
I can't remember the name of the movie.
The Walking Dead
next month, also.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that leads me to believe it's probably him. Also, they're saying it's going to change the whole format of the show, or at least the direction of the show. Of all them, either him or Michonne
or Carl
are the two, but I don't think, because they said that if Rick moves, then feed him the other eye. So I don't think he's going to kill Carl. I think they're going to explore the relationship of Carl and Negan. That's going to be a big thing.
Well, you know what
show.
made me kind of disappointed me though, because I read somewhere, and of course it could just be being vague, but they had asked about that, and what I read and gathered out of it was it's not going to necessarily be Carl that has that relationship with Negan. They were like, we're going to definitely explore that.
But it might be Enid. Do you think?
Carl.
Could be Enid.
That would be as fun.
It would make him just look like a molester, a child molester, or, a pedophile then.
You can tell me the way that he talks to Carl sometimes could still make him seem like a pedophile.
Probably, but he's very against sexual violence.
And I feel like Enid would punch him in the face before Carl would. I think Carl's still coming into, like, well, I don't know. New Carl lately has been pretty.
Yeah, Carl ain't taking no
fierce.
shit.
But no, I think it's Glenn, just because that would change Maggie into who she needs to become.
To rule
and they're getting ready to cast Ezekiel. And they've already said they're coming.
We were just talking about that.
I have a bold theory on Ezekiel,
But the last little bit, I just want to say, I want to give a shout out to Quizzy, I guess it is, because he or she says that it was Michonne that got beat to death, and they know it for a fact, and they want their.
That's a long thing. So go to that video. Go to our last.
Wow.
Go to our last video.
Go back and watch the scene.
And just go to our playlist. Look for the Walking Dead episode.
Find Quizzy. He gives a good
argument for Michonne.
Why he thinks it's Michonne.
I'm not buying it though.
All right, now JP. Who was it and why?
It had to be Carl, man. Had to be.
Carl.
Yeah, it's Carl.
Why Carl?
Yeah, why do you say that?
Well, for one thing, you brought up, everyone's like, well, why did he talk about cutting his other eye out? He says, if anyone moves, cut the kid's other eye out and feed it to his dad, and then we'll get started. He could just as well have been saying, I'm going to get started on Carl once we cut his eye out.
Like he's got Carl in front of him, and he's like, nobody, if anybody says anything, anybody moves, cut the boy's eye out, and we'll feed it to his dad.
It's like, this is happening. He
but
can
Carl
either do it
was standing up.
No, Carl was on his knees.
Carl was on his knees too?
Yeah, they were all on
his knees. And if you watch that final scene, and granted, this isn't concrete, but the last thing he really does before he starts wailing on whoever he's wailing on, he passes by Rick, and his shadow is going to the right, and on Rick's right was Aaron, Sasha, Carl, and Eugene, which leads me to believe it's one of those four, and I think if he kills anyone, it's got to be an original cast member.
Absolutely.
So that's my thinking.
Very concrete, because I wasn't rushing to get to mine, but what I was going to say, I feel like they're going to kill Eugene, and I don't want it to be Eugene because that would be kind of a cop-out in my opinion. You're taking a kind of important character. Like,
there's still so much to explore with him.
Yeah, because when you said that, when you was talking about the side is what made me think about it. Eugene was on that side, right?
Yeah, Eugene was
a lot of folks think Eugene, and I in my heart feel like that's who it is, because I feel like they're just going to cop out and kill Eugene. But who I actually think it is Daryl, because I have evidence. Well, I don't have evidence, but I have arguments as to
hypotheses.
Why. Number one, if you read the comics, and if you don't like comic spoilers, number one, just get with the program and read them. Or number two, accept the fact that you never are.
Right. And the fact that the show has gone so far off from the comic books sometimes that you never really know what's going to happen.
It's not a spoiler. But in the comic books, Dwight has that crossbow to this day. Like, even right now, he's still got that crossbow. Daryl Dixon's not going to stay alive and let this guy have his crossbow. Number two,
you wouldn't think
Daryl wanted to kill Dwight. Daryl was after Dwight. Never in the comics was anyone directly. It was, Daryl has a lot of reason to want Dwight dead. There's no way that eventually they coexist with Dwight. They don't become best friends per se, but they coexist. Like, they meet. So I don't see any way that Daryl Dixon's going to stay alive and have a relationship with Dwight, because he wants to get him so bad for the way he killed Denise. He's going to keep his crossbow. Daryl's not going to just let him have the crossbow. Really, I like Daryl so much, and I don't want Daryl to die. This was his season too. He was so good on this season. But I feel like Jesus, I told him I'm finally just about caught up in the comics, and Jesus is such an important character and such a good character. He's far more badass than Michonne. I mean, Jesus is hand to hand. I mean, he's just the shiznit. I mean, no one can touch him. He even whoops Negan's ass, effortlessly at one point. So in order to bring him up, you're never going to get him to that right-hand status that he has in the comics with Daryl still there. You know, so many characters have been sidelined because of Daryl Dixon. Though we love him, Tyrese was nothing. My girlfriend started reading the comics, and she's like, man, Tyrese is just so different in the comics, you know? And then it's like also Abraham. You know, Abraham is, which he's slowly starting to fill that role now that Daryl is not with them, but Abraham was much bigger of a right-hand man to Rick in the comics. So I feel like if Daryl dies, it's one of those things where it's kind of like the ending of BioShock Infinite. If you kill him off, it just will set things right.
Right.
Even though you don't want it.
Booker.
You know, Booker DeWitt. I love that game.
I could see Daryl dying in the next season. I don't think he's who dies.
You don't think he's who Negan kills.
And talking about the crossbow, I totally see what you're saying, but at this point, like, what can he really do? You know, they're on their knees.
And they can explore that the whole season.
Right.
Him getting his crossbow back,
I know that obviously it's nothing he can do. I just feel like they wouldn't write that because, I don't know, I just don't feel like they would, I don't know. He didn't.
A lot of people would say their writing's getting really lazy, and I feel like sometimes it is.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, they're keeping it right now. They're doing really good of keeping it to the source material.
It was a solid season overall. I thought it was a solid season.
Oh, it's my favorite season.
But I like how somebody put online. They said somebody needs to jerk off Scott Gimple for 90 minutes and then not let him finish, and then see how he likes it.
That is a very good reference to the season finale there. But I don't know. I really like season 6, but I don't know. I don't feel like they have the balls to kill Daryl. To be honest with you, I know I hate to say that, but I don't feel like they have the balls to kill off Daryl.
And this whole him having a TV show, like, well, he's got a TV show.
It's
well, it doesn't matter.
AMC. They handle the
and
schedule.
It's airing shows, right, like it's getting ready to air. So it's not like it's airing at the same time. It's not like he's filming at the same time he's filming Walking Dead. And that's why this whole Glenn thing with Steven Yeun filming a movie at the same time, which we'll find in a month. We're going to find out.
Yeah, because keep in mind, Maggie filmed that movie, The Boy, and that had to have somehow lined up.
I think she filmed that like a year ago or so. It was just on the shelf for a while. Yeah,
and according to what you said, for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You know, George Takei missed a few episodes of Star Trek when he was doing that John Wayne movie. Same situation. That's why they brought in Chekhov. Yeah, fun fact.
That is a very fun fact. I did not know
Same
that.
kind of deal.
You know why Gene Roddenberry named him Sulu?
Why?
Because it's a very Pacific American name, I guess, or like a Pacific, like to the point where it was all these names combined, like not just one part of Asia, but all of Asia.
Yeah,
and they combined it to make the name Sulu.
Oh no, Stephen Young, George Takei. I guess they just kind of made me think of him.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
George.
Hello.
He's actually in our. He is actually.
Oh my!
Actually, I'll tell you what. He is in our. Gone Too Far that I pretty much made just for JP.
My.
Let's see if you guys can hear him. This is not on anybody, but this is.
Those guys aren't going to come in and start scrubbing me
I'm buzzing myself for throwing this because this has nothing to do with the podcast, and I'm sorry that we are getting off subject. But see if you mentioned Sulu. See if you can catch him in this little bit here.
Don't say weird shit.
Oh my! There he is.
There he is.
You better check yourself.
So yeah, that is what I made for when JP gets a little out of hand and I have to passive aggressively tell him to stop.
It's out of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can all go there.
Love takes on many forms.
It does.
All right, so back to Fear the Walking. Well, back to The Walking Dead. So you're thinking Glenn, you're thinking Carl, I'm thinking Daryl.
I'm almost.
It'll probably be Eugene. You know what I mean? It'll be.
Which is really sad. I like him.
I do like Eugene a lot, and they really are setting up for it to be Eugene. Like he told Rick and them how to make the gun. God, I cannot talk by the end of the day. Bullets. Damn, we need to do this podcast in the morning.
Then I wouldn't be able to talk.
But so there's our thoughts on that.
If it is not an original cast member, I'm just not going to know what to say.
Me either.
I'll figure it out eventually, but yeah, when it happens,
now to Fear the Walking Dead, because God, those
Should you
people
start up the theme song again?
Those people that tuned in just for Fear the Walking Dead absolutely despise us right now. They're like, Jesus, man.
Fear the Walking Dead.
All right, we're back. Okay, so as we get into season 2. This episode, I was kind of bored. I'm excited. The way they left it off, I'm excited for what's going to happen.
Couldn't tell you half of what happened
Sunday. But
you were just zoned out.
I know the dude they're on the boat with the guy from last season, and I know that that's about it. And the floaters.
Yeah, and Strand's boat.
And her son.
Don't forget Strand's boat.
Her son is as bad as Ron and whatever his name is.
Yeah. I'm not liking this little kid at all. Victor Strand is my favorite in the show.
I love him.
There's something, but I think there's something with him, obviously, right? Like, don't you think he knows something?
This is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Victor Strand is going to end up. Ezekiel is the leader of the kingdom, the next group they're going to introduce in The Walking Dead. I'm hoping that's Victor Strand. He's Ezekiel. He has circumnavigated the globe.
There's no way,
dude. It's got to be.
There's no way. Ezekiel was what was Ezekiel? Yeah, a zookeeper who was in a play, so he plays King Ezekiel. This guy is definitely no zookeeper.
Maybe he owns a zoo and he's friendly with the cats. I don't know.
I would love to see that, but I don't think Victor Strand is going to be your Ezekiel.
And I love the relationship between Victor and Nicholas. It reminds me a lot of like Walter White and Jesse.
Yeah, I can get that. Nicholas, I'm kind of Nick is weird on me. He's just weird. Like, he reminds me of like a young Johnny Depp for some reason, but
he's definitely weird.
He's just out there, but I don't know what to make of it.
Like, I could definitely see that.
His whole swimming scene. I'm like, what are we watching right now? That was for the
ladies.
Well, I mean, Victor pumped him up. He was like, look, man, you don't think you bring anything to the table, but you're brave. When you put a needle in your arm every day knowing it could kill you, that takes a lot of guts, pal. So don't sell yourself short.
Yeah,
maybe that's built up an immunity to the zombie virus.
Could be.
Wouldn't that be something?
He could have been shooting up Walter's, blue meth. You never know.
Supposedly they exist in the same universe. So, all right. So, Victor is my favorite character right now. Who do you guys have a favorite character on this so far? I'm having trouble connecting.
I think Matt's that boat is just going to sing.
The boat is my favorite character right now. Okay. It holds all those people.
It is a pretty sweet yacht, though.
It's an awesome boat.
Boats and hose.
I like the way it left off, though. I mean, we're in some trouble.
Too.
I mean, my little brother called it when we were sitting there watching it. When she was talking to these people, he was like, "They're tracking them. Like they've got to be." He keeps asking all these specific questions about,
she got played.
First
of all, Victor's boat rules. First rule is it's my boat, and those were the second two rules as well. That's a fine first rule. Your second rule should be, don't let the horny teenage girl play with the radio.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the third rule, maybe just everyone.
So you do not do number 2 in the bathroom. That's always a rule.
You've got this entire ocean, man. Just let people know, hey, don't come around the corner.
Yeah.
I'm hanging it over the boat.
Poop in a bucket.
Pretty much.
Poop it in the ocean.
That's it. You just don't doo-doo in the toilets. You just don't do that.
Mm-hmm. During the swimming scene, because obviously when I'm not... I guess because I'm just getting into it, I don't think I can go like in order with it. But so we will be kind of jumping around.
We're jumping.
In that swimming scene with Nick when he goes into the boat and all that, was anybody else just waiting for a shark to attack someone?
That would have been awesome.
Like I was waiting, and
that might have got me into the show a little bit more.
Think about it.
A zombie shark?
Well, you're
regular shark's cool
just a regular old shark.
Sharks are good enough to have a whole week on TV. A zombie shark should get a month.
No.
There's the smell of decaying flesh with all of these zombies in the water.
Well, apparently sharks don't like decaying flesh.
They don't.
It's actually proven that sharks don't like decaying shark flesh either. If they smell a dead shark, then they stay away from that area.
I didn't know that either. That's perhaps walkers are good shark deterrent if you're out on the.
I do know that they
surround your boat with walkers or floaters, we'll call them.
They use dead sharks as shark repellent. I know that much.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I mean, it works for me too. I mean, if I'm walking into like Walmart and there's a dead body laying there at the door, I'm probably going to go the other way.
Which wouldn't surprise me in Walmart. It wouldn't surprise me more. People would just be walking by it.
Walmart was a bad example.
I'm sure someone will take care of it.
Walmart's a bad example because you're like, oh, damn it.
Yep.
But yeah.
Can I get a clean up over at the front? We got a dead body over here.
Oh man,
I ain't gonna touch it. I ain't union. They don't pay me enough.
That's
man, I've been around it so long.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
Which I mean, we all have it to an extent, but that was just like
I am a proud mother on the PTA. My husband owns a used car lot. My boys are both B students.
You should be on King of the Hill if that was still.
Oh God, I love that show.
Oh
my God,
I do too. I'll tell you
Amazing.
what.
Miss it.
I've actually got
I'll tell you
what. I've got some Hank Hill sound effects that I used to use on the radio.
Oh, jeez.
My favorite being "Get over here, you furry little bastard."
Nice. Dusty old bones full of green dust. Do you remember that? Where we got the kid next door was his bully. Nope, never mind. We'll talk later.
All right, yeah.
Find the man with terrible smell. They burned down the Methodist church.
The decaying flesh might have put them away, but definitely all the thrashing around and commotion definitely attracts sharks. I mean, they have those electrical. senses in their nose that pick up disturbances in the water from like, God, a long ways away, so it attracts them. But so I was waiting for a shark because I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not brave enough to just jump in the water in the middle of the damn ocean.
So when Chris jumped overboard, do you think he was trying suicide?
Oh, yeah.
You think he was doing himself in?
Yeah. I mean, he says I was just going swimming, but he jumps off of a moving boat. I mean, or was I not seeing
Not
it? The boat
smart.
was sitting still. Was the boat was it sitting still? It was
Sometimes it looks like that because the ocean's moving. So
Yeah, I can't.
Either way, it's not a good
I
idea.
swear
to
I
jump off
can't
of a
talk.
boat.
I said, was
No.
the boat docked? Obviously, it wasn't docked.
It wasn't
was the
docked.
boat anchored or sitting still? I thought it was moving.
They were kind of
That's weird.
drifting.
You
It
said that,
wasn't
but I
like-
knew what you meant.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm talking at 6 o'clock in the morning, so by 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening.
They weren't at full speed for sure.
No,
Full
but I
mast,
mean, he jumped
half
off and didn't
mast.
tell no one. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he was going to get left. I think it was a suicide attempt.
Yeah,
And quite
same
frankly, just like with Sam off of
dead
Walking
weight,
Dead,
cut it
I was just
loose.
like, let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really missed the boat on that one. Yeah, I got a few more guys. I got a few
Let
more
Christopher
locked and
go.
loaded. I'll use throughout the.
Nothing like marine
All right,
humor.
wait, now, what do you guys think of
or maritime humor.
What do you guys think of
mermaid
Travis?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Travis and
Wonderful
Madison?
complexion. He has a really great color of skin. Like it's a really nice bronze color.
Right,
It's
and that'll
really
probably
nice.
help him if
Is
they're
that
in
what
the
we're
sun a
talking about?
lot.
His hair is always cool and nicely tousled. Like, man, I'm jealous.
But
Jealous.
what do we think of him? Do you like that? I think Madison is going to be the badass of the series.
Yeah, shit, I could totally see her being like a new Andrea,
Yeah.
only not as cunty. Did
Yeah,
I say
and
cunty
we'll
on
say
here? I'm
yes.
sorry.
We'll say
I think
Andrea
so.
from the comics, not Andrea from
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
Because she was kind of country.
Travis,
Yeah, a little
I could see, actually, believe it or not, I could see Travis getting killed off.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Though he's, I guess they want you to feel like he's one of the main, like, untouchable.
What more would bring those families together?
Well, and on top of that, too, he doesn't seem to be kind of
Digging it?
like getting into this. Like, I think Madison, you can just tell by the way she's observing things. She obviously can tell, like, okay, we're going to have to get shitty here. Whereas him, I think he's still kind of floating in this. Maybe the government's going to help. He hasn't said it. I know he saw the area bomb, but I just don't feel like he's going to fully snap into.
Travis and I are a
This
lot
world.
alike. We need a little bit of convincing before we're ready to accept these things.
Right.
And
And I could be wrong. He could turn out to be an absolute badass, which would be awesome. I love a turnaround like that. But I could see him
Maybe
being
that's what
killed
they're
off
going
for shock factor and, just him not fitting into this world.
But Travis was much more willing to leave those people like stranded out to sea than Madison was. She was like, "We need to
Yeah,
stop.
true
We need to
that,
stop."
true
And
that.
Strand was like,
So maybe she'll
Yeah.
die because she's the voice of reason.
"I think something's going to happen to make."
I
her
like Daniel.
jaded."
I like
don't know.
Daniel. Daniel's, he's
That's the guy with
Oh, the older fella.
yeah, he
doing all that.
the
fishing.
dude with the least amount of hair out of all the cast.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken any shit from anyone since it started.
And why isn't he wearing a hat with that bald head out there? in the
It's you're gonna
sun?
get it scorched.
Yeah.
It's gonna burn.
I mean, I know he's got that brown skin, but still.
What about Alicia?
Hot.
Keep her away from the radio.
Yeah, no kidding. She just lost her boyfriend. She would jump on a fence post.
Post.
That's what I was trying
Fence
to say.
post.
Fence
Fence
post.
post.
Yeah.
Very
You said that
aggressive.
really aggressively.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean, she didn't just she jumped
So where are
onto
they?
that fence
Where are they
post.
going to go? Like they're going to San Diego, right? Like that's what they're headed for.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like just like a little
In
like a rainbow
Spanish,
shape.
it means a whale's
Vagina.
vagina.
I thought that was German. I
It
think
might
it's
be
German for the whale's vagina.
possibly.
You win in Rome.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
I don't know the rest of it. That's
Just
it.
an expression.
That's it. Just an expression.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
All right, now what do we think about what's her name? Ophelia? Is that how you say her name? Ophelia?
Ophelia, like from I think she's gonna drown. She should drown, just like in Shakespeare. If you're familiar with Hamlet, that was
Ophelia drowned in.
Ophelia drowns in Hamlet.
Okay.
We have that to look
I,
forward to.
I failed that class 3 times in college, so I took Shakespeare 4 times in college. I'm way more familiar with Shakespeare than I like.
Which characters? All right, I got to keep you guys on track.
Sorry, but no, we're doing
Which-
Ophelia.
wait,
yeah.
What'd you
Which-
fail 4 times?
Shakespeare, like intro to Shakespeare. It's like a 400 level
jeez.
course. Was not a fan.
Really?
Was not a fan.
Huh.
All right, now of these characters, all right, you obviously the boat. JP,
yeah,
which
yeah.
of these characters are you liking best?
I'm just loving Victor for sure, but I'm loving the Victor Nick dynamic. Like I
Think
said,
so?
it's very like Heisenberg, Jesse-ish,
Right, kind of taking him under his wing as he's
Yeah.
finally now
One-
overcome his addiction, which I'm sure that's going to probably rear its ugly head.
Oh, God.
Oh,
What if
yeah.
a zombie comes around a corner like a leather jacket and like offers him some crank or something? It's like he's like, "No, man, I'm good." Really, that much?
If you found drugs on a zombie, would you
First
be
one's
brave enough to
free.
do them?
I mean, were they still bagged up?
I don't know.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
I mean, Ziploc too. I mean, why not? Keeps freshness in.
Maybe they should start doing that for their commercials now.
Keeps your pot fresh.
That would be. I've never seen. That would be funny to see a Ziploc commercial where the guy's like, "Man, your pot's not as fresh since you switched away from Ziploc."
Well, the
Keep
zombie
pot
apocalypse. But yeah, Nick I like, but I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna say I like him. I don't know what I think about Nick. It's just odd.
Weird
I'm feeling him out. He's just kind of a weird guy. But
he does have a young Johnny Depp kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much.
We say, what did you say? They're going 15 episodes this season.
That's what I saw on Wikipedia. So.
Yeah, you're right because it's 21 episodes that the people have done so far or whatever on IMDb. So 6 was the first season.
A lot of people.
If my math is correct, 14 plus 6 is 20, so 15 episodes would be 21. Did I do that right?
I think so.
Should I bring my calculator out, guys?
I actually was in a park yesterday talking to an old friend about how bad my math is, so I'm not going to speculate.
7. I was a theater major. I took more Shakespeare than I did math in college. So yeah, I think it's 15. Yeah,
sounds right.
That took way too long to figure out.
A lot of people not seeming to dig this show. I was looking up some stuff on it before we started, and the first article that popped up was like, Fear the Walking Dead is back, and still terrible.
Yeah, everybody's saying they're kind of... But I feel bad because people are still kind of upset about the season finale of The Walking Dead, so don't bring in this show...
Thinking about
I know you're trying to get your audience from The Walking Dead, but first of all, people who watch The Walking Dead are already familiar with this show.
Right.
So you don't need to fight to bring in more people. Right. I do think that I'm having trouble getting into it. So they need to focus more on the storytelling than getting people. I'm aware of it, and I'm still not watching it.
Right.
So you need to find something for me to enjoy about it.
And another thing, judge it on its own merits. Don't judge it in comparison to The Walking Dead.
I think that's
something that pisses
problem.
me off a lot.
I think that's a lot.
They're trying to ride the coattails.
Give it a fair shake. That's all I'm saying.
And it probably wasn't a good idea. It probably, at all to air this the week after the biggest cliffhanger in the series thus far. I mean, if Negan had just killed, we saw who he killed.
That would have been great. If we would have seen who he killed and then be like, all right, and then said what he said, 50% of everything
you can have your piece, and then you're on to this show.
What he said, if he would have said, Lucille here is a vampire bat, and then ended like that, that would have just... I can't imagine the love that it would have reinstilled in me for The Walking Dead.
Or even if you didn't go that far, I was like, man, it'd be cool if he just was like, and you shows the first-person view, and you think, oh, man, we're about to get a stupid cliffhanger, and then it just switches last minute, and you see him get hit, and as soon as the bat connects, it goes black. And that's it for this season.
That would have been great.
Oh my God! Yeah. But so you know who it is, but you're waiting to see. Then you go for something that high pace to this, which I'm not going to say it's too slow, but in comparison, it's very slow.
They're definitely trying to establish their characters and all that. But meanwhile, The Walking Dead is trying to reinvent themselves. They're trying to stay fresh and stay new.
Yeah, so it's hard to. I'm giving the show as much of a chance as I can. I'm enjoying it thus far. I mean, it's slow, I know, but I think it's going to pick up. I feel like next week.
Just talking about it, man.
Honestly, though, I would much rather be on Victor's boat than on Herschel's farm. That much I can tell you.
No doubt. I don't know though. The ocean terrifies me. The thought of drowning in sharks.
I'm not an ocean
I think I'm
fan.
good with the farm. I take my statement back. I do not agree. I'd rather.
I
be
like
on the farm.
water, but not like I like lakes. I don't even like lakes that much.
You
A
don't
pool.
like
I like a nice pool.
I like a nice kiddie pool. Like if I drown in it, obviously I was
like
assassinated.
the $30 ones over at Walmart,
Yeah.
like that. They're all molded out of one piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those are safe. It's
Oh, dude, I remember having this. Having the water in them for like
little
4 or
chance
5
of a
days
shark.
straight.
Very little chance of shark attack.
Very little chance.
You hardly ever hear of that happening.
I mean, it's rare, but. So yeah, I'm with me and Matt would be chilling on the farm with our kiddie pool, and JP, we'd see you.
Me and Victor would be drinking scotch on the bridge of the Abigail.
I just want to drink scotch.
The Abigail.
I'm
That's
good
what
with
the
whatever it
Abigail.
is.
Sounds actually pretty cool. If we had scotch, I'd be on the boat.
Yeah, man.
We should bring scotch to the next podcast.
I'm down.
But I was thinking about it. What's the kid's name? The
Nick.
Nick. Okay, that brought up a good point that I thought about last night. It's like all these people, like even people who. Like alcoholics or crackheads, cocaine, people who are addicted to any kind of substance. Like that's got to be a crazy thing. Like that's a crazy point of view to see because the zombie apocalypse going on and you can't get your fix.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's a really cool story that I wish that they would
kind of Lost kind of hit on that. I don't know if y'all watched Lost. That was one of my favorite shows, but they really hit on that with Charlie. I mean that was the big thing with him. He was stranded on this island and. I won't go into it because you've never watched Lost, which, I mean, the shit ended in 2010. If you haven't started it now, then But
spoiler, they were all dead.
no, they were not. That is the biggest misconception about that ending. They were not all dead. Do you really believe that?
No. I mean, I just wanted to,
because I've actually had people believe that, and I'm like, did we watch the same ending?
Well, I'm
folks?
hoping they'll go back and watch it. But isn't it like we'll get into it.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Okay.
But I could do a podcast on that show, and being that neither one of these two like it,
I've never seen it.
But that was that was one of those.
You've never seen it?
Said,
well, then start watching it and let's podcast about it.
Is it on Netflix?
Yes,
I will get
it is on Netflix, dude. Oh yeah, we'll start podcasting on that. I swear,
It's a pretty good show, but that was one of those spoilers. Like that was one of the things that everybody said from the very first season is they were dead the whole time.
Right, and they were not. They certainly were not dead all the time.
It's much deeper than that.
I mean, there's a point. You have to watch it, but anyways, all right. Lost podcast coming up. So for you Lost fanatics that have seen the show, hey, if you were like me, I've watched it 4 times. I have the encyclopedia.
That's good.
I love it. So you're going to get some very good Lost podcasting. JP will be just seeing it for the first time.
I watched it when it came on,
us,
but I haven't seen it since.
Well, then perhaps you should go back through and let's watch it. We can do like an episode by episode podcast.
Why don't you guys just act it out for me? That'd be fun.
Okay, so ship is coming down. Oh no, wait! I'm sorry. Yeah, there's people crying. Then I open my eyes and I'm looking around and like, what's going on? I'm
Charlie. I'm Odin.
There you go.
Isn't there some kind of smoke monster or something?
No,
later. That comes in later.
There's no
I heard about a smoke
There's
monster.
a polar bear. There's a smoke monster.
I heard there was like a monster made of fog or something. That's not
well,
true.
it's a security precaution.
Don't spoil. He's never seen it.
And I heard there was a button if they push the world ends or something.
No. But you do have to push the button every so often.
You know what? Speaking of pushing buttons, I'm going to push that one.
Okay.
Lost podcast coming for those Lost fans. I'm excited now because I absolutely love Lost. It's extremely. It's got some inconsistent points, but I love it.
I like the Flash. I want to do a Flash podcast. But I can't find anyone under like 15 years old that likes it. I feel bad that I like it sometimes.
All right. So, as we, is there anything we left off? Obviously, there's trouble ahead for our gang on the boat. They've been tracked by bandits that quite possibly are responsible for the boat that we saw.
What it's looking like.
What was the deal with the zombie that just like relaxed? Remember when Nick swam under that boat and then the zombie was all rah, and then it just stopped? Was there do you think perhaps like the zombies can't smell you in the water?
Ooh, that could be it.
You
maybe
know?
they can't function under the water.
and like the salt water would like be corroding them a lot more fastly, right? Salt water does that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, imagine salt.
Well, if you
It would
find
mummify them, I would feel,
Oh.
I mean, you
They'll
find
definitely shrivel up.
Yeah, like shrivel.
when you find a corpse like in any body of water, it's always all gooey and
I don't know,
stuff.
JP. I've never found a corpse in a body of water. Why don't you go a little bit further into this?
Well, me and my friends back in the 50s, we were little kids. We were
1950s?
I was trying to make fun of a movie, but I don't think that's
Stand
the
By
plot
Me?
at all. Yeah, that's not the plot. They find them on the railroad tracks, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Well, one
geez.
finds them and it's like, you guys want to see it.
But I knew where you were going, so
Oh boy,
Jerry
kudos
O'Connell
on
back
that
when he
one.
was
Kudos on
I
that
went
one.
off the rails.
I applaud you. I knew where you were.
Oh, that was a good. I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
railroad.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Railroad.
Darn.
Nice. Okay, so is there anything we're leaving out with this episode? How do the folks seem to all be handling it fairly well, except for Christian? He's the only one throwing himself off of Christopher, throwing himself off the ship.
It's crazy how they are all they're all a dynamic from each other. Like every single person in this group is a dynamic for, like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking. I don't know how I'm trying to explain it, but they're all different from me. They're all very different from each other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like we've got like one kind of person of every demographic, or at least like kind of way of thinking or mentality.
Yeah.
And so I'm eager to kind of see what that. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Right,
guys.
and we appreciate that.
Hang in there,
For
pal. Hang
you,
in there.
For you, I feel bad that I didn't watch that movie with you guys last week. What was the movie we were supposed to watch? And I said,
movie?
come back later.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. Yeah, that's it. Phenomenon.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
So, really, I think at this point, I'm just really interested to see what Victor Strand's backstory is.
Same here.
Because he came in kind of like, hey, shit's about to hit the fan. I mean, he's smooth, too. He almost has like a Morgan
I
Freeman.
bet he dies
I
before
like
the end of the season.
Probably, because I
hope
like
not.
him.
He'd better not.
I did kind of an Idris Elba feeling from him.
I can see that.
Who is
Idris
it?
Elba.
I've never heard that.
You've seen.
Oh, he's
him.
been in a lot. Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
I never saw that.
Rim.
He was on The Office
Wire.
for a while, wasn't he?
He was on The Office for a couple episodes. The Wire.
Was he in Phenomenon?
No.
No, but Dale was.
Yeah.
Thor. The 2 Thor movies. He's the only black guy in Asgard.
Okay. Oh, he's a Heimdall or whatever.
Yeah, Heimdall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's Idris
Okay,
Elba.
well, I have
There
seen
you go. British actor.
Yeah.
Well, how do you
He's
like that?
supposed to. They're trying to get him to be the next Bond.
All right.
Huh?
I got to keep you guys on track
sorry.
here. Right?
This is why we need a Geek Out
Right. We've
podcast.
got to.
Just
But
Geek Out. I like that name for that. Though.
We're
Remember
geeking
that.
we're
out.
going to come, and in that one, I will never hit the
Geek
buzzer
out.
on you guys ever, unless you start talking about something like sports, because that's not
Wouldn't
very
that
geeky.
be funny though? Is that on that podcast we kept talking about
About like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's like,
And you had to
okay,
keep
so
rolling.
basically, if you want to get, it's like, okay, if you want these jerks to actually talk about The Walking Dead, go listen to their Geek Out podcast.
Yep.
But we'll get to that. But right now, the focus is Fear the Walking Dead.
What
the
else
Walking
is there?
Dead.
So they're on the Abigail. They got their
We've
scotch.
got bad
everything's
guys on the way.
hunky-dory.
Obviously, we see the zombie threat is still pretty prevalent
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean.
And now, how long into the zombie? Like the first?
This is just within a
patient
few-
zero.
This is probably within a few days, I think, right? Because this all
Well, I mean, it
happened really
picks
fast.
up right after the season finale from last time, and that
Yeah.
was, that was relatively soon after.
I think I saw one episode from last season.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You didn't see?
It was the one where like she saw her neighbor, and
Mm-hmm.
her neighbor was a zombie. It was that episode.
I really like those
And he was
moments
going around
in that
looking for
season.
drugs
Like
for his
some people
kid.
call that slow, but like I like that. Like watching someone see a walker for the first time. Because keep in mind, in this version of the zombie apocalypse, the zombie lore doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's no Resident Evil, no Night of the Living Dead. So imagine like when Madison sees the neighbor lady across, the other side of the fence or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
As a
lattice.
zombie. I mean, can you imagine? You don't have anything like that. I mean, I like little moments like that of seeing like the first walker and
I know. I liked the first season. I thought it was a nice little prologue to what they're getting ready to do.
And then actually, if you've been watching those little tidbits of the plane, thing,
yeah.
I've seen a few here and
one of
there.
those characters is supposed to become a main character in season 2.
What happened to the? Did they decide?
I think.
What happens with the plane?
They hadn't finished it yet, right?
Oh.
It was going down. I think we're going to actually see a plane going down in season 2, and then
That's gonna be the plane.
I think so.
It's like what is it? What was it? Like it's some name of a flight or the number of the flight. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. That's on the title
Flight
when they play it, right?
395 or something.
Now, my question is, they don't really have Robert Kirkman helping produce
I'm
this
sure
or
he's
anything.
got a
do they?
finger in the pie. His name's
It
on
doesn't feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
For good or bad?
Not really either. I just don't feel like Robert Kirkman.
I mean,
is,
I honestly
Robert
wonder,
Kirkman is more brutal. I feel.
Yeah, I mean that's why I wonder how much of a hand he has in The Walking Dead these days.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
can't have as much. You
I
read
really
the
wanna-
comics.
I really want to get into Invincible with Robert Kirkman. Like,
That's
I really
something
wanna
I've been
get
putting
into
off
that.
for a long time. I'm trying to read Preacher right now because that show's getting ready to come on.
I hope
soon.
so because apparently Seth Rogen's really he's done some kind of script treatment or something for this. Seth Rogen's involved with that show.
Wow.
He's involved somehow.
I'm
So like Cassidy or whatever the vampire. Because
Uh-huh.
I've got the omnibus or whatever that comic book.
Dude, I've read the first book.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
No, it should be a good show. I'm really hoping it. They
Yep.
need something, dude. Ever since like The Walking Dead's the only thing that AMC has right now.
No, hold
They
on
have-
a
they have
minute. Better
the
Call Saul.
Borderlands.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, but it's not.
Now, don't
near, it's
hate on
near-
Better Call
I'm not
Saul.
hating on it, but it's. I think they were expecting another Breaking Bad, and it's not getting the traction that Breaking Bad. But Breaking Bad took a couple seasons to get started.
I like Better Call Saul.
a lot. I've never.
I
Heard
don't
a bad
like you
thing
disparaging
about
it. I don't
would
like you
never-
disparaging it.
JP, I would never.
JP, is it
disparage
safe to say Breaking Bad is one of your favorite? If not,
It's my
in your-
favorite
it's
show
your-
ever,
it
yeah.
is
Breaking
your
Bad was
absolute
amazing,
favorite show
amazing
ever.
television.
And I'm a big
From
Sopranos
beginning to
guy,
end.
but yeah, it's a much more solid piece of work than The Sopranos.
But other than Better Call Saul and The Walking Dead, what have they got? They used to have.
They're working on Into the Badlands, right? I've heard a lot of people like that.
I watched the first episode.
It just came on too late for me. I have to be at work between 6 and 6:30, so I mean I can't really stay
The
up that
action's
late.
good, but the writing's.
I'm willing to give that a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, not a great show, but
So obviously, I'm gonna close with this because obviously we're having trouble staying on track. It just, I guess, because this really isn't much else to
Yeah,
cover
it's
on this
not a lot,
episode.
yeah.
You
Yeah, it was
know,
a lot of beginning.
everyone seems to be coping with the impending zombie apocalypse fairly well, other than that boy that threw himself off with Christopher. Nick seems to be doing a lot better. He's braver. He's not
I really
not
want-
dependent on drugs anymore.
I really want to see a zombie cut like a straight up like episode of Saved by the Bell, like an after school special, where the zombie like has a little bag of like something. He's like, ugh.
Victor Strand is probably everyone's new favorite character because he's just
boss.
I'm waiting to watch him whoop someone's ass, or like when these guys pull up to like raid him, to just see him like press a button and like a table turns
That would be
around and
pretty
he's
cool.
got like
Or a trunk
gun or
opens up
something.
and a swivel gun.
And he just is like,
Breaking Bad
everyone get below deck. Like I'm just waiting for that. It's bound to happen.
he's
Victor's
so
gotta be
cranky
a
right
badass.
now. He needs to take a nap.
Well, because they don't know how to follow rules.
Yeah,
you know?
that's for sure.
The guy who let me ride on his boat when the world was ending, I will listen to his rules regardless of. Hey, I would like to see those people rescued, but if he says no, I'm just glad to have a seat on this boat that apparently no one else is ever going to get a seat on again. So. I'm
he
ready
doesn't
for
die
next
before the
week.
end of the season.
I hope not either. That would suck.
But I feel like he will.
He's such an interesting character. You
Everyone
can
I
really-
like dies.
Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones.
Be glad I don't like you guys. Oh.
But so that will wrap it up for the episode 1 of Fear the
Our
Walking Dead.
premiere episode. I feel like a seasoned veteran, you guys.
If you're a Lost fan and you would be willing to go back and dissect Lost episode by episode with us, please comment. I mean, we're going to do it regardless. I don't care if my mom is the only one listening or not. Damn it, we're doing this.
Thanks,
Especially,
Mom.
and JP's never seen it, so I can... Oh, man, I'm so excited for that. But if you are a Lost fan and you would like to go back and kind of revisit that, we're going to do that. So comment, let us know. Lots of exciting things.
Where's the you got the applause button ready?
Yes, I do.
Guys, we're over 200 subscribers. We did it.
200 subscribers.
We're
so
over
excited.
200. And thank you, Nocturnal Island said congratulations. Thank you for that.
Thank
That was
you,
really nice.
thank you.
Sam Burbia Pictures, thanks for being here. Nilda, congratulations. Just all the KK Bacon, Quizzy, all the people.
Christian Anthos.
All these
many.
folks who constantly comment on us like every week and that listen to us.
We talk about you guys
The reason that
so
we do
much
this.
behind the scenes. Like when your comments, we actually discuss your comments. We appreciate them. We love it. Like that's when I post this tomorrow morning, the first thing I'll do before I get up and go to work is on my phone. I'll pull up the channel.
Me too.
And read the comments.
It's a great
I
way to
love
start
it.
the day.
Even if I don't get a chance to one of us doesn't have a chance to comment back. Life happens. Sometimes you see a comment, you're like, I'm going to comment back and tell them how much they rock, and then something happens at work and you get busy. But we always appreciate your positive feedback.
What's
man.
the really cute girl with the diarrhea? Which one was that?
Carrie,
right. She's
she's
another
huge
good one.
fan.
Yeah, that's fun.
She's
The cute girl with the diarrhea.
Yeah, I've met a few.
Carrie, we feel your pain. I agree with Matt. In what situation is diarrhea
Ever. Well, it
good,
depends. Unless you're.
If you're doing a cleanse,
if you're stopped up, if you've been constipated
stay
for a while,
hydrated,
diarrhea
stay
is probably a
hydrated.
blessing.
So anyway,
Drink Gatorade.
we had another contest started, getting ready to start.
Yes, we do.
And it's in the works right now, but it's going to be the prize is going to be a zombie survival kit.
Yes,
And I'm
this is what we want for the theme song.
This is right. So this is we want you to make us a theme song
because we've been using the same one. It's great. We want if you have the ability to make a theme song or someone that does, come up with something cool
Just
and unique for us.
Turn your microphone on your phone and sing into it.
Right,
It's that
Walking
simple.
Dead podcasting.
Right, whatever you want. Just be creative, and the winner.
You'll get
is going to
your
get
very own
an
zombie
extravagant zombie survival. I'm talking. This is
and maybe
a lot
Matt,
of good
since
stuff
Matt,
in there.
each one of us has kind of been in charge of a contest up to this point. Now this is kind of Matt's, so perhaps Matt will even figure a way to make it a care package drop, like in Call of Duty.
Oh, dude! But seriously though, if someone I'm gonna be in California September 8th through the 3rd, it's right after Labor Day. I'm going for a week.
I will be out. Well, no, I will be at the beach the week leading up to that.
I'll hand deliver it. If you're a winter in California, or if on the flight
California's
back,
a big state though, so just because they live in California doesn't
is it
mean
though? You can get from north to south in 2.5 hours, right? That's it. It's not that
2.5
big.
days, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's 6-hour drive just from San Diego to San
California
Francisco.
is
That's
a
6 hours.
huge state, man.
That's so crazy to think about.
It's such a big state.
But no, we want you to make us a theme song. We like our theme song; it's really good. But we
didn't make
something. Right, we didn't make it.
We give
want
credit
something a little more
to
special.
Drop the Bass Line. I think is where we found it. We're not making money off of it, so we would like to have our own unique. And we want to give you guys, because we've got some very creative listeners between the crafts that some of you make, between the videos and the comments. We obviously have some very intelligent, creative folks listening to this podcast, so
Speaking
we figured
of
we didn't list your
crafts and Nocturnal Island. She made. You said what'd you say she made?
It was like a key holder that looked like Carol's car with all the javelins
Mad
coming
Max
out of it.
car.
Yeah.
That's really like a keychain.
And
holder.
this week she made Harry Potter coasters. I think really nice.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Oh, and the new book comes out in July, so.
New book.
Oh yeah, there's a new book.
What? How about a new
cursed.
movie?
What is it? The cursed Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, or something?
Oh wait, no, it's a play.
It's a book. It's coming to Barnes and Noble.
Are you sure about
I
that?
was in Barnes and Noble Saturday, and they had the coming July whatever.
Let's do a research on that because
We will.
I'm fairly
We will.
certain it's just a stage play.
Well, if it is, they're releasing it in book form.
Maybe they release a book or a script or something.
Hold on. You keep talking.
Okay, but no, Harry Potter is about a young boy on his 11th birthday is visited by Hagrid, who's like a half giant. He's like, "You're a wizard, Harry," and he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just Harry." He's like, no, you're
Harry
not just
Potter
Harry.
author J.K. Rowling's script of the stage play by Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is going to be published as a book. So you're right, and I'm
Interesting.
right.
Oh, high five.
It is.
I love it.
It was a
Everyone
play, but it's
wins.
not
Oh,
being
that's so good. That made me
published
feel
as
good.
a play.
Yeah.
It's being published as a book.
Then
So
I might have to read, because it's, I wonder if it's set in the future or whatever. It's set like many years
it's
later.
like maybe his child or something. My girlfriend
Well,
said
his
she thought
child
it
is,
would be.
because at the end of the last book, his kids are getting on the Hogwarts Express going to Hogwarts for their first year.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
I'm just playing. If you hadn't read Harry Potter by now, I'm sorry.
Jeez, dude, the books, the movies, like everything's
That's-
out. Like I don't
yeah.
know, like to the point where they're having to.
Did you actually read the books?
Oh, yeah,
I
bro.
wanted to. I never got into it. I
Because
never got a chance to.
I was like 12 or 13 when they started.
Yeah. Mhm.
So when the
just
first
followed
three
it.
came out, I was kind of like, I mean, these are okay, but they're kind of like younger than I am for kids.
young
underneath.
adult, like young adult.
And when the
themed.
fourth book, when Goblet of Fire came around, I read that. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well,
this
it,
is
it, grew,
really
up, it
good.
grew up with its audience. Is the great
So,
thing about it. Yeah.
I read all the books. I worked at a theater during the summer, and they would do 2 different summers. They came out. We go to Walmart at like 12 o'clock at night and buy them. And
That's so
we'd all
cool.
have book clubs. Yeah, dude.
All
Harry
right,
Potter was
well-
a big part of my growing up.
That'll wrap it up for Fear of the Walking Dead. Hopefully, they will have a little bit more of an entertaining episode next week, and we'll have more
I
to
hope so.
talk
I'm
about
really
to keep
looking
us on
forward
the
I
to
track.
it.
liked it, guys. I liked
I
it.
enjoyed it, no doubt. But you know, I promise you, next week I will make sure I will try to stay on track a little better. I mean, JP and I actually went to the gym today, so we're a little fatigued at this point.
I'm real hungry.
I went to a steak place and ate. So I'm sorry about that.
You work at a steak place and then you go
I went to
elsewhere
a
to eat
different.
steak.
Yeah, well, because I get the same food all the time, you know?
Right.
So I like to check out other places.
I
and
understand.
stay keen on the competition. But it was really good, but it just took forever. Mm-hmm. You know,
It's already.
she was kind of busy. She worked hard. God bless her.
Well, guys, great podcast.
Always
we
a
hope you
blast.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Start
If you're
working on
new-
those theme songs.
If you
Yes.
need theme song, mark your calendars for the premiere of season 7 of The Walking Dead. That is going to be a fun night for our little community here. We're going to, make it to where you guys can talk to us while we're live streaming. We can answer questions. We can discuss what we're expecting, moments leading up to it. I mean, hell, even if we want to, you know what? We might even could leave the live stream going during the episode and discuss the episode with our viewers as it happens.
That'd be cool.
And then we'll podcast after. So lots of fun things going on. The Fear the Walking Dead is getting ready to start. I'll let you know about the Lost podcast as soon as we get on that. Game of Thrones starts back at the end of this month, and I believe the 24th maybe. And the 24th, that's Sunday. So we plan to have a Game of Thrones podcast.
What's the
Geek Out
what's the
podcast?
email?
Geek Out
Where can they
podcast.
email us?
Right now, we don't have a company, but we have a specific because we're going to have we're going to have a Lost cast.
Right.
But right now, if you want to reach us, you can email us podcastingdeadpodcast@gmail.com.
Podcasting Dead Podcast. I think that's pretty easy. Just copy and paste the first 8 letters or whatever, 7
Yeah.
letters, and just
Email us, yeah. So go ahead if you would like to be one of the people that we call for the premiere because we need to go ahead and get everything lined up for that so we're not last minute.
we want to talk to you for a minute, get to know you.
Yeah, we don't want to do that last minute. So comment, be like, I'd love to be on there, and we'll write your name down, and we'll draw 2 or 3 folks. So fun stuff happening.
Always
I'm
fun.
Justin.
I'm Matt.
And I am JP.
Yes, you are.
Uh-huh.
As always.
This time.